Paranormal Activity is a movie that was released in 2009, starring Katie Featherston and Mika Sloat, and directed and written by Oren Peli. Now, the first thing to say about this movie is it is a found footage movie, something that hasn't really been done prior to this other than the Blair Witch Project and Cloverfield, but without those two examples, it's now brought it back into the mainstream and it does it so well. The story centres around Katie and Micah, who are a young couple sort of being played at that time by some ghostly goings on inside their house. At that time, Katie does believe it to be as a result of a ghost, but Mika's a little bit more skeptical. But because they can't really prove what is causing these things going on, Mika invests in a video camera and begins to document everything that's going on. And that's where this movie then starts to pick up. Everything you see in this movie is captured through that video camera that Mika has purchased. It's that one camera that captures everything. And the main goings on really are separated between what happens overnight and what happens during the day. So during the day, we start to see the real dynamic of the relationship between Katie and Mika. We begin to see that they are a couple that's very much in love and together, but there is a difference between the two characters as well. They're not fully on the same page, especially when it comes down to the paranormal activity that's going on. But the main interesting part of what we see during the daytime activities is a meeting they have with a spirit or psychic medium who essentially comes and visits the house to offer his words of advice and comfort around what's going on. But unfortunately, it has the opposite effect because the news that he breaks is that, in actual fact, they're not being haunted by a spirit, they're being haunted by a demon. Something that's followed Katie throughout her life, from her being a child all the way through to now. And the key detail in this is Mika suggests making contact with this entity to try and work out what it wants. And the psychic essentially explains to him that what it wants is Katie, and by opening that, or by having communication, you're opening the door and letting it in, and it's only going to make things a lot worse. You think Mika gets that message, but unfortunately, as you find out later on in the movie, he really doesn't. From that point onwards, what you begin to see is overnight, certain activity does start to go on, and it does get stronger as the movie goes on, as you would expect. But during the daytime, after Mika does try and make contact, it does get worse. And what you see during the daytime segments is the breakdown of the relationship between the two of them. You get to see that actually the negative impact that this demon is having on them is really hitting them hard, and that's only making things worse with the negative atmosphere going on, to the point where you do actually feel the negativity just coming out on the screen and hitting you. Now, this movie is incredibly low budget. It's all done within, it's filmed in the director's house to start with. And realistically, what you've got are two actors that have been told to improv a script. They're just, it's just an improv class. And the way they do it is absolutely superb. The effects are good. You can't really argue with the effectiveness of those. Especially there's one scene in particular where Mika covers the floor in flour, and you see footprints sort of just make themselves on the floor of the bedroom, but don't actually go out either. So you see the demon, you see hints of where the demon is or where the creature is, but you never know really where it is. And that sense of not knowing is really what drives this movie forward and what really sticks with you when you leave the cinema or when you stop watching it. Overall, I love this film. I love it. It was something new at the time, especially in 2009. I first watched this in the cinema and I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the fact of just that feel of you experiencing everything that they're seeing. They're not seeing anything more than what you are because it's all being seen through the same camera lens. And just the low budget feel of it also made it feel a lot more real. And that does actually mirror into the movie itself. It's filmed, there's no opening credits, there's no end credits. It's just almost as if it's the actual evidence of what formed that case as to what happened with Mika. And it's framed that Paramount Pictures have managed to get the rights of this footage, and there's a thanks to the families of the two people involved and the police department as well. It's all framed as a true story, and it doesn't break that illusion at any point. And I'm going to have to give this one 4 stars just because of how much I enjoyed this movie and how much I continue to enjoy it each and every time. It has been diluted quite a bit with not only just the amount of found footage movies that it's inspired, but it's also, I mean, the story of Paranormal Activity has also been diluted so much by so many sequels and spin-offs as well. But this being the original is still absolutely amazing to watch. So that's my review of Paranormal Activity. Have you guys seen it? What did you guys think? Whatever you guys thought, please pop it in the comment section below. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back with another one shortly, but until then, you guys take it easy and I'll catch you on the next one.